Welcome back to a news-packed hour of Arise Review. Finance ministers from around the world will gather in Washington next week for the annual meetings of the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. On the agenda will be elections for posts to run the African Development Bank. Well, Arise Exchange anchor and business editor Andrew Schmertz, and good friend, is here with a preview. What does the African Development Bank do? Many people don't know about it.
Yeah, no, it does quite a lot. It does typical things that a development bank will do on one hand, which is to provide investments, loans, and grants to both public and private entities inside and outside of Africa on a range of issues, but primarily infrastructure, technology, and electricity, for example. But it also has done something interesting over the past few years, which is it has gotten into the risk management business to defend against political instability. So one of the problems with investing in Africa through the years that has held back investment dollars, of course, is where is the money going? Is it going to be stolen? Is it going to be used properly? Is there a risk that governments aren't going to honor contracts? And the African Development Bank, for projects that it approves, will now provide basically insurance against political risk. Not against economic risk. You can still make bad investments and lose it, but against really political instability. And that was considered a key development and a key attribute of the current president putting into place to help jazz up investments.
That's a good move. As far as these elections are concerned, who are some of the candidates? Who can we look for?
Well, we have I think a graphic of the candidates up there, and it's not so much the specific person who might get the job, but they're going to be looking for somebody probably along the lines of the person they have now, Donald Kaberuka, because what Kaberuka has done over the past 10 years, it's a 10-year term, is he came out of the post-genocide Rwanda. And look what he's done for Rwanda. He has turned Rwanda into the technology hub of Africa, many have said, and he has led the bank through certain vision and modern-day investment strategies and financial tools. And they're probably looking for an individual among the current core of candidates to do that. Obviously, you want to look at the big countries. Nigeria is the biggest economy in Africa, so you're going to want to look at what Nigeria is doing. There are candidates from across the board in Africa who are certainly going to be vying for this position.
And I'm sure, I guess all eyes are going to be on these local or regional elections that are taking place in Nigeria right now.
Well, absolutely, because Nigeria got through a successful election from a democratic standpoint among concern that they would not. And now you have the governor elections. And in many cases, the governors in Nigeria have more power when it comes to allocating investment dollars for their individual states. So these are elections that are going to be closely watched.
Okay, I want to focus also on here the key issues of the IMF, the World Bank. What will they be focusing on, Andrew?
Well, the International Monetary Fund and the African Development Bank is part of the IMF. And the IMF and the World Bank have their spring meetings together next week in Washington, D.C. There's, as there always is, a lot on the plate of the IMF. I would say Greece is probably towards the top of the agenda. Just last Friday, Greece made a 450 million euro payment to the IMF, but Greece really has only until the end of this week to come up with a reform strategy, or the IMF may not release the rest of the money that Greece needs to stay afloat. And so there's real concern about the risk in Greece right now and what the Greeks may do.
And that's always an issue with the Greeks at this particular point in time. Still an unstable situation there.
Well, I would say so. There's a lot of analysts who are thinking that Greece is going to leave the Eurozone, and that doesn't mean they're leaving the continent, by the way. It just means that they're going to get out of the euro, and what that might mean, because countries like Spain and Italy are watching this very carefully, and of course Germany. And Germany holds the cards here because Germany is backstopping most of the debt.
Really quick, 2016 elections, the economy is doing really well right now. I would assume if the economy kind of holds steady here in the United States, that will bode well for the Democrats.
Yeah, I don't want to get too much into politics, but people say, you vote your pocketbook, and a lot of the economy is looking good. The jobs numbers continue to improve, but this is really key. There are three aspects of the job numbers that people still want to see improvement on. They want to see more participation in the labor market. They want to see quality of jobs improve, and the key point is people want raises, and they're not getting them. We are seeing no improvement in wages, and that could be a factor.
Thanks, buddy. A lot on the plate today and a lot on my plate. Come over later for some blackened wings and a cocktail. Okay?
I am there.
Okay, good enough. Andrew, thank you as always, sir. When we return, is Hollywood finally becoming a bit more colorblind? We'll find out when Arise Review continues. Stay with us.